Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are stepping onto a microscopic stage to watch one of the most incredible performances in all of medicine, immunotherapy. We're going to frame this as a beautiful, intricate dance between your own immune system and that unwelcome intruder, cancer.
So, what's on our dance card for this explainer? We're going to start with the body's natural immune dance, then see how cancer just completely throws off the rhythm. After that, we'll look at how science is teaching our immune system some amazing new moves to take back the dance floor.
All right, let's get right into it. Because, you see, to really get how immunotherapy works, you first have to appreciate the natural choreography that your body is performing like all the time. It's this beautiful process called the cancer immunity cycle. Now, think of this as a dance in 6 steps. It all kicks off when a cancer cell dies and releases these little signals, kind of like a dancer stumbling on the floor. Scout cells, called antigen-presenting cells, they see this. They pick up the signal and take it to the lymph nodes, which are like the body's training hall. In there, they present the signal to T cells, basically training them for the fight. These newly activated T cells then travel to the tumor, sneak into the area, and execute their final move perfectly. They recognize and destroy the rogue cancer cells. And what's so amazing is that this creates a self-sustaining loop, a constant dance of surveillance and protection. But, cancer is just a terrible dance partner. It doesn't play by the rules at all. It cheats. It doesn't just mess up the rhythm, it actually tries to stop the music completely. So how on earth does it do that? Well, it starts by corrupting the dance floor itself. This is what scientists call the tumor microenvironment, or the TME. Cancer literally transforms its neighborhood into this hostile, toxic place that's designed to shut down our immune dancers and protect the tumor from any kind of attack. And it does this by inviting some really unwelcome guests to the party. It pumps out all these chemical signals that basically tell our immune cells, hey, stand down, nothing to see here. It builds its own private blood supply to fuel its crazy growth. And get this, it actually recruits its own security force, cellular bouncers like regulatory T cells and tumor-associated macrophages that physically stop our heroic T cells from getting anywhere near the tumor. Okay, so if cancer has completely rigged the dance, how do we possibly fight back? Well, this is where immunotherapy makes its grand entrance. It doesn't just fight cancer directly, it acts like a brilliant choreographer, teaching our own immune system how to outsmart all of cancer's dirty tricks. One of the sneakiest things cancer does is hijack the immune system's own safety features. These are called checkpoints. They're basically natural brakes that stop our immune cells from going totally haywire and attacking healthy tissue. What cancer does is it learns how to slam on those brake pedals, putting any T cell that gets too close into a state of shutdown or exhaustion. And this is where things get really cool, because we now have drugs that can release those brakes. These are called checkpoint inhibitors. So some drugs, like anti-CTLA-4, work really early on, back in the training hall, the lymph nodes. They make sure way more T-cell dancers get trained and sent out. But others, like anti-PD-1, work right on the main dance floor, inside the tumor itself. They block the stop signal coming from the cancer cell and literally wake up those exhausted T-cells right there at the scene of the crime. Another incredible move uses something called monoclonal antibodies. One technique is ADCC. This is where we use engineered antibodies to basically coat a cancer cell in fluorescent paint. This paint acts like a giant flashing flag that attracts one of the immune system's elite dancers, the natural killer cell, or NK cell. The NK cell zooms in, grabs onto those flags, and unleashes toxins that just obliterate the cancer cell. It's so targeted and so precise. But that's not the only trick these antibodies have up their sleeve. There's also complement-dependent cytotoxicity. In this move, when the antibody latches onto the cancer cell, it kicks off this massive domino effect in the blood called the complement system. This whole chain reaction ends by building something called the membrane attack complex, which, and this is wild, literally punches holes all over the cancer cell's surface until it just bursts. And for the final move in this amazing trio, we have ADCP. In this case, the antibodies coating the cancer cells send out these loud, "Eat me" signals. This brings in the immune system's cleanup crew, the macrophages. They see the signals, they move in, and they just swallow the cancer cell whole. Gone. Just 3 different dance moves, all kicked off by antibodies, all ending in the cancer's defeat. Okay, taking the brakes off is huge. But what if you could bring in your own team of specially trained superstar dancers? Well, this next part is all about that very idea, using something called adoptive cell therapies.
This is CAR T cell therapy, and it's about as personalized as medicine gets. So, first, doctors collect a patient's own T cells. Then they take them to a lab, and using a harmless virus, they give those cells a brand new gene. This gene tells the T cell how to build a very special receptor. Then they grow these new, superpowered cells into an army of millions, and finally, they infuse them back into the patient, ready to hunt.
So what is the special receptor? It's called a chimeric antigen receptor, a CAR, and this is the absolute genius of the therapy. It fuses the part of an antibody that's amazing at spotting a target on cancer cells directly to the killing machinery that's already inside the T cell. It basically gives the T cell a new set of eyes and a built-in direct attack command, letting it bypass a lot of cancer's usual hiding tricks.
And you know what? The story doesn't even stop with T cells. As you can see here, scientists are now engineering natural killer cells with these exact same CARs. And CAR NK cells, they have some huge potential advantages. They seem to have a much better safety profile, with a lower risk of really severe side effects. And, this is the real game changer, because they can be sourced from healthy donors, they open up the possibility of an off-the-shelf therapy. No more complex, one-at-a-time manufacturing. That's a huge deal.
All right, so we've seen some truly incredible advances. But where does the stance go from here? The fight is definitely not over. Cancer is a really resilient opponent. So let's wrap this up by looking at the challenges that are still ahead and the incredibly hopeful future of this field.
The thing is, even with all these amazing new strategies, cancer can still fight back. It develops resistance, it might learn a new move, like it'll just stop showing the target our CAR T cells are looking for. The T cells themselves can just get worn out from fighting day in and day out. Or that tumor microenvironment can just stay so hostile that it completely overwhelms the attack. Cancer is always learning new steps to try and evade us.
But here's the most important takeaway. What this entire journey into immunotherapy proves is that we're not just watching this dance anymore. We are learning how to be the conductors of our very own immune orchestra. The therapies we've talked about today, they are just the opening act, and they've shown us that the power to defeat this disease really does lie within us. And that leaves us with a truly powerful question. What other secret, life-saving dances are our bodies just waiting for us to discover?